So my backstory of, you know, how I came across the novel First Blood by David Morrell, 1972, is I had bought the Rambo box set, the old silver medal one with Rambo on the cover, with the picture of embossed in it, with the picture of him with the M60 going to free the POWs. I got the new one as well, the one with all 4 movies on it. They're not that much different, except, you know, all the new stuff, obviously. On the old one, did have a couple of really cool music videos that were included, and a lot more trailers, whereas the newer revamped version didn't. And I really hope that one day they just fucking get it right and release everything. There's some awesome behind the scenes stuff on that. And I'm going to review it, but that's going to be later on. Probably in Season 3 of the series, when we'll be talking about Rambo 3 and a ton of other stuff. But we'll probably get around to those box sets somewhere around then. Anyway, so I was watching it, and they were talking about, you know, like the alternate ending, which corresponds with this book. I'm not going to give it away yet, because if, you know, you didn't read it, you know, I'll clear you away. But there will be spoilers once I start reading the book, because I'm going to rip that thing apart. But, yeah, so I was watching it, and, you know, they were talking about the alternate ending, and they were talking about the book, and I was like, you know what? I'm such a Rambo fan. I gotta go out and get this book. So I did, and this was probably somewhere around 2000, early 2000s. I shouldn't say reading, I should say reviewing, because I'm just getting through reading it again for the 3rd time, which is really rare because I never read a book more than once, and this one I've read 3 times. Well, this is the 3rd time. So yeah, I needed to get the book. I, you know, went to work the next day, and then after work went to the bookstore and picked it up. Started reading it pretty much immediately on the sidewalk to the bus, you know, almost bumping into everybody. And, you know, read it on the bus all the way home. And then, you know, I read it when I was in the bathroom. I read it to fall asleep. I read it on the bus back to work the next day. Yeah. I guess it's pretty much safe to say that, you know, I couldn't put the thing down. I was hooked. Like, even though it described Rambo as really different, you know, Rambo and Teasel and Galt and Shingleton and Orville and everybody, I was just thinking of them as, you know, their likenesses, you know, like Stallone and Dennehy and so forth, and Richard Crenna as Colonel Troutman, and I just couldn't put it down, you know, like on my break I would read it, you know, go have a smoke, read it, on my lunch hour I was reading it, reading it, my other break, you know, go read it, have a cigarette, on the way home read it, while I was waiting for the bus read it, while I was waiting for the metro read it. And I just, you know, I couldn't put it down until eventually I finished it, you know, like a day or two. It's maybe 3 days it took to read. I'm not sure. But, yeah, like, it's, you know, it's roughly 300. I wouldn't say I'm a big reader. Like, I like to read about, you know, interesting things and whatever. And, you know, I haven't read a lot of books, but I've read, you know, a couple of handfuls of books, and usually I only read it once, you know, so to pick up a book a couple of times after that and still be drawn in and still have that initial excitement and still have that, you know, where you're like in the book, you know, like you're in that world, was really cool. And I love that I can do that over and over again with this book. Yeah, so it's like roughly 300 pages. It's pretty solid. as books go. Usually it takes me a little bit of time to get through a book. It takes a lot for me to grasp my attention. So I guess it's because I'm retarded, but whatever. I shouldn't use that word. I'm sorry, but yeah, this book just kicked my ass, and after reading it, I knew why it became a bestseller pretty much overnight, and why they sold the film rights overnight. Because this is just gold. It's just solid gold, and it's a must for any reader. You got to pick this thing up. It's great. Yeah, my copy was the red covered one with the knife and the dog tags on it, kind of embossed or embroiled, or however you want to say. It's just a real treat. Like, you can't get any better than that. Eventually, later on, I moved, and I dug it out of one of my boxes. I was reading a couple of other books. This guy Mike, I was living with my my cousin Mimi. Like, I was renting off a place above my cousin Mimi's house, and her friend Mike had come over, and this guy loves to read, and we were going over topics of books, and we were talking about it, and so forth, and I remember, like, the night before, cracking the book open again and going over some of the footnotes, and it had like a little preview of David Morrell's next book, Burnt Sienna. So since the book was a little bit older, I asked him if he had read Burnt Sienna, and he was like, "Yeah, you should pick that up. It's pretty good." But this guy, like, read tons and tons and tons and tons of books. And eventually down the line, he traded me some of his books that he read a couple of times and he didn't need to read anymore. Because this guy's got a brain like a sponge. He's, like, super fucking amazing. And I traded it for some of my old Van Halen CDs. Like the good ones, like the early ones, with David Lee Roth. Even though now I have a much bigger respect for Sammy Hagar, I'm starting to really love fucking Sammy Hagar, and his era of Van Halen, which is cool because, I didn't get to enjoy that as a kid, but now I can totally appreciate it. So Sammy Hagar, if you're listening, you fucking rock. You are the Red Rocker. I think it was a fair trade. I think it was a great trade because he gave me some really cool books, and I got to read a lot of Stephen King and a lot of short story Stephen King, and I got to read the Dark Tower, even though it was further along in the series. So then I had to go back and get the old ones, and yeah, like it was really, 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 really an awesome time. So one day my Aunt Geraldine was over, and she's a really big reader too, and she was like, "Do you have anything to read?" And after, it was weird because the night before also I was reading the introduction to First Blood. So I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I got something for you." So I went and got her the book, and she was like surprised because it was Rambo and it was a book, but she didn't think that there was a book about Rambo. So I was like, you know what? Take my prized possession, give it a read, because I was reading other stuff at the moment. Like my friend Carl, I was reading the parts of the books that Mike had given me, and I was reading. My friend Carl had lent me a Bachman book, which was a pseudonym of by Stephen King. It's by Stephen King, but it says Richard Bachman. I was reading one of his books called called the regulators. You gotta check that one out. That's an awesome book too. And Carl, haven't seen you in such a long time, but I will return your book to you when I see you. Hopefully it's one day soon, because I love you. and you're an awesome friend. And, you know, even though I move around a lot, I don't get to see my friends. You know, a lot of them, I still love them. Anyway, so I was like, to my aunt, I was like, here, take my prized possession. I never saw the book again, mind you. But, you know, if it helps someone else gain a little bit of knowledge, I'm down for that. And, you know, I got to buy the book again and have the same experience for a second time. So I bought the book a second time later on when I moved again, and still had the same impact, you know, even a little bit better this time because I forgot some things along the way from the first time I read it. And yeah, it was great. Unfortunately, I lost that version of the book too, in a move somewhere. I have no idea where I lost it, but I lost it. So I had to get an ebook for the Kindle, which is fucking wicked because it comes to you in like 60 seconds from when you order it. Bam, it's like right there. And I got it again, you know, third time's a charm. And, you know, we're going to review it. We're going to set this in stone in history. It's such a beautiful piece of art. So that's it for now. But however, next time we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to pull it apart. I'm not going to read you the book, but I am going to review it. You know, I am going to talk about the whole book front to back. So, maybe not like the intro and the footnotes and whatever, like the burnt Santa thingy at the end. But I'm going to read it to you, like, not read it to you, but I'm going to review it to you like how I would review a movie, you know, talking about everything in total spoiler fashion. So you might want to go back and read it before watching the next couple of videos. I know I said that in the past. Unfortunately, you've had to listen to me ramble on about the book for like the last, you know, half an hour without without the review per se. But you know, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. There's, you know, not a better time than now. And yeah, please stay tuned for my announcement on my next series. I may do another RAMBOMANIA series, like a mini series, on things that, you know, I forget to cover on this long, extensive 48-part episode series. But yeah, stay tuned for that announcement because I'm really happy about it. And it's something that really touched my heart and something I really want to share with you all. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. And we're going to jump into the book next time. And RAMBOMANIA continues next week. So, I love you. God bless. And thanks for the support. Bye.